It's insane. It's insane how the media can put pressure on Setien less than 2 weeks in. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look, of course, at the game in la Copa del Rey between Leganes and Barcelona that's going to be playing in the Camp Nou tomorrow at 7 CEE time. This is a game that in reality it's good on paper to kind of once again restart and get into good form, but nah. Leganes is gonna be a very tough opposition, and now that we know that Leganes in La Copa del Rey are only one way, you only have one shot at them. It's gonna be very difficult. It's gonna be very tough. It's gonna be a very hard nut to crack. Before getting to the hot takes, just like always, I wanna give you some stats about the game and revise the two recent forms of both two teams, because when you put them side by side, they're almost equal. Barcelona have the same or even worse run of form than Leganes, winning 2 of the last 5 games in all competitions, and Leganes exactly the same, winning 2 in the last 5 games in all competitions. But Leganes has 1 more draw. Barcelona has 2 losses. Leganes has only 1. That tells you the levels. That tells you where they are paired up. And right now we're not doing good at all. And you see it on paper, Leganes is actually kind of doing better. And added to that, you can also say that Leganes are more adjusted to the pressure in this competition, because those 2 victories came against Ebro and Real Murcia exactly in la Copa del Rey. They scored 5 goals between those 2 games and conceded 0. When it comes to the head-to-head record, Barcelona and Leganes has always been very tight affairs. The maximum goal difference between is a 3-0 victory over Leganes away from home. But this is kind of like an anomaly, because after that, we've lost 1 of the last 4 games against them and won the other 2 by a margin of only 1 goal, leaving it to Barcelona just having a lot of struggles against this team. And as we know, Leganes scored even first of us here in 2019 at the start of this campaign, and we had to rely on Luis Suarez and Arturo Vidal to bail us out. So there are just a lot of reasons that we must take into account. Leganes will not be an easy team, and as we know, teams that park the bus is where we are going to find ourselves with the most trouble. So now moving into the hot takes, I gotta say that my first one is going to be that Barcelona shouldn't attempt any earth-shattering rotations. We once do not have the personnel to have that attempt. We can change up the midfield. In the forward line, we literally only have 3 players at our disposal. The defense can change a bit, but it really shouldn't. I think we've gotten too much astray with the focus of the idea to regain that DNA, which is all fine, which is all what we want, and I've been saying and communicating to you that that's the path that we need to follow. But in reality, taking a look at short term, there has to be some sort of kind of boundary, a limit we can push this. It's not realistic that Setien is going to be changing this much this quickly. And any result right now in La Copa will put an X next to his name, to the board, and to the media more importantly. They are the ones that really decides what happened in the club, because the board feel the pressure from the just people knocking down the door, you know. Quique Setien needs to be very careful about how he's gonna take this game. He's gonna keep taking the risk until something works out and it clicks, which, all due respect, that's what he wants to do, perfectly fine. But then you also have to take into account that we are in these competitions to try and win something. And this is a question that I want to raise to you guys, because I'm not the only Barcelona fan. My voice doesn't go. Our voice together goes. So I want to know, what do you think? Do you think that is right to continue kind of pushing the boundaries of what we're trying to do with this team? I mean, kind of changing the formation, putting the players that need to play, or just benching whoever needs to bench, and just try to make as many changes as possible, as quick as possible, or try to take things a little more steady, more slowly, to ensure victories and these results. And the Valverde, the thing was that we wanted those results, or that's what Valverde said. Well, all of us wanted to pursue the attacking way. Is it possible to find a balance, or can we only have one of those 2? I want to ask it to you guys, because here against Leganes is going to be a very good opportunity after the baptism of fire that Quique Setien, Sarabia, and his staff and the squad failed against Valencia. Now it's going to be a moment of resilience. We need to see, these are the very important games for managers. We can see what they're made of. The managers needs to bounce back, and that's when we really need to test it. So now to see Quique Setien, the ball is on your park. Demonstrate that you are man made for Barcelona. And my second hot take is going to go hand in hand with the one I just mentioned, and that is that I believe we will not see that much of an immediate improvement. The Quique Setien era has demonstrated that it's not a roller coaster of emotions like it was under Valverde. We could win a game against Real Betis 5-2, and here, even with the short kind of sample sizes that we have, we've seen that it's always kind of steady, slowly climbing or slowly going down. We've never seen, and I don't believe we will see that many of drastic changes. We have to take account that also Leganes, like I mentioned, is going to be a hard team, even though they're 19th in the league with 33 goals conceded, which is such a big number. Barcelona will struggle to break them down like we always do. The winning factor of Barcelona here is not up to debate. Barcelona can still win this game, but the manner is that it's going to take us a long time to break them down, like Ibiza. It's going to be a very similar game to that, and don't put it past it that Leganes can attack us and make us really hurt. The tactic since Mauricio Pellegrino left and they appointed Javier Aguirre has been to simply play openly. Do not have a connection between, don't have a midfield. That's literally Leganes do not have a midfield. They put and overpopulate the defensive lines and areas, try to just kind of hold out the fort when Barcelona are trying to attack, and whenever they can, pass it to one of their strikers. Yes, they're missing El Nesiri that just left to Sevilla. Yes, it's going to be a very big miss. But we've been hit and we've been dealt with far less. So Barcelona need to be careful because this team can hurt us. With all of that being said, I want to move onwards to the lineup, which I just predicted today for Barcelona because I was trying to do research on Leganes and they changed literally every single thing. So a prediction for them will be just redundant. Aguirre will surprise me and I'm not going to attempt to predict their lineup today. Barcelona are going to be going, in my opinion, with a 4-3-3. And I think that's going to be primarily what Setien are going to be implemented in this game, or might be kind of their focus. So moving on from that, I'm going to be talking about the lineup, and I think that Barcelona not necessarily will return to a 4-3-3. I think that we're going to be seeing in the goalkeeper position Marc-André ter Stegen. The back four or back three, Semedo, Piqué, Lenglet, and Junior Firpo. The midfield of De Jong, Vidal, and Artur, and then up top Ansu Fati, Lionel Messi, and Antoine Griezmann. As you can see, I'm not making big rotations because it's not the time to do it. What Quique Setien is asking of the players, in my opinion, doesn't go hand in hand with the formation that he wants to implement. Let the players grow. Let the players just simply adapt to much more of an intensive training style, coaching style, in a system that they feel more familiar with. This is what I would pitch to Setien in this 4-3-3. I think that if you just make a change too drastic, you might lose entirely their heads at all. What I don't want is the media and everyone already start putting the pressure on Setien, and I don't want him to, like I said, as soon as Setien was appointed, I said one thing that Setien needs to do is get the media and fans on their side. And if he starts kind of losing his master for peccary decisions, it's gonna end bad for him. Hopefully the people following this channel, hopefully the community that follows and reads about Barcelona in every single day, maybe at work, at school, whatever, hopefully those kind of people will stand by him. And certainly we are here on this channel's favorite of Setien. We're kind of backing him to do well. But I just put that rendition out there, that comment saying that perhaps it was too far-fetched to change everything right now. Let it grow, let the players adapt into the system first. The other reason why the 4-3-3 might be useful is because don't provide a sense of regression. Don't let the players, the media, give out excuses saying, oh, it's the changes of Setien. No, give them the 4-3-3. So when they play bad, they realize it's not exactly the system. It's not that Setien's training method are too intense. Do not let them think that. They need to start thinking and reflecting on the players themselves, because as you can see against Valencia, the problem is not necessarily the manager, it's the players. The manager has changed, they can change absolutely everything. Klopp could come in, Guardiola could come in, Xavi could come in. But with these players, if they don't have some sort of self-critique or auto-critique, they're not gonna improve. And that is the main thing that I want them to do. So do not give them the space to do so. Just put a 4-3-3, and when that goes wrong as well, there's no one else to point. There's no scapegoat. The only scapegoat is themselves. And that's it. That's what you need to do, because it's good enough for them to say, oh, we didn't play good, oh, we need to improve. But demonstrate that you want to improve. Demonstrate that you want to be better, that you actually want to win a game. Today I was talking with my friends about the favorites to win the Champions League, and I couldn't confidently say that Barca are going to reach the semifinals. I couldn't. I was saying Liverpool are going to beat us, City could beat us, PSG could beat us. I was literally going team by team and seeing Barca who could face up against. And with this attitude, literally we can win like against 2. Napoli, Lyon, maybe Atalanta and Valencia, but literally Valencia just beat us, so. And finally, I think the 4-3-3 can be useful to help get the link-up play between Griezmann, Messi and Ansu Fati to the right level that we want him to be. Suarez is not going to be coming, and apparently a number 9 is not going to come. We just paid £85 million for Richarlison. Are you kidding me? Literally, as I'm doing this video, that's what happened. And I don't think it's going to... I don't think the chances are very slim now of signing a player in this transfer window. So let those players get together and understand each other, because Dembélé is still going to take a little bit of time to regain into the first team and for Setien to actually value what he brings as a player. So Ansu, Griezmann and Messi as the only 3 forwards that we have. The more games that they play together right now and understand each other, the better we will be, the better our attack will synergize together, and the better will they understand each other so they can pass without even thinking about where the other one is going to be. That's sort of the level we want to reach. And the only thing that is going to allow them to do so if they keep playing constantly. Last time against Valencia, I said in my predictions, Vidal should play just because Ansu Fati should rest or something like that. But Setien seems that he understands that they need to understand each other. And I'm thinking that Setien will put all of them together in this game. So it's time to start understanding each other, time to understand the system, and time to grow between everyone. The 4-3-3, they know it already, doesn't give them excuses and lets them combine to the best of their ability. So why not use him for the time being? Why not use a false 9? The 3-5-2 might be a little bit too advanced for them at this stage. So with all of that being said, now I guess it's time for predictions. And I may be very negative in this video. I know I hate when people come here and say, oh, this guy is super negative. It's fine. It's fine. I'm kind of realistic. I get called that all the time. But the reason why I say this is because I want to really focus on the problems. The people that understand the problems, that are rooting in this team, they are the ones that progress the best. If you can say yourself when you make a mistake, that makes you already better than everybody else. And that's what I want Barcelona to do. There's no point in going around and buying as many players as you want. There's no point in spending money. There's no point in making up excuses. Literally, it's football. It's less simple than it is. Attitude is what matters. And even though we have this, it's not gonna... So now I guess it's time for predictions, and I may be talking too negative. I know people say that all the time, but the reason that I want you guys to reflect on the problem, the reason why I focus on the bad things, is because once you do so, then you can improve. If you recognize what you're doing bad, then you can build upon it and fix it. There's no point in putting a bandage on the wound if you don't give them the correct medicine to heal. You understand? So that's kind of what I'm focusing on this channel. That's why I made this all around, because I remember back when Valverde and Luis Enrique, everyone was just saying like, oh, we need to buy players, we need to buy players. No, the problem wasn't that. The problem is rooting in this team, the directors up there. Those are the things that need to be fixed. With all of that, we're still Barca. We still have good enough players. It all results to that. And we are going to be capable to beat a team like Leganes in la Copa del Rey. It's going to be hard, but we got the tools to do it. Overall, I expect a very long game, very similar to Ibiza. That's the game that you need to watch out for. But most importantly, we need to work up here. We need to make the right decisions. We need to keep our team strong. I don't want... Against Ibiza, the problem was that the team wasn't focused. They didn't have the desire to beat. They were just like, oh, Ibiza, easy like always. But here against Leganes, hopefully since it's a better opposition and it's at home, they'll feel a little bit more of that pressure and really demonstrate that they're here for that. All throughout this preview, I've been suggesting that this will be a 2-1 affair, and that's what I think Barcelona will win. But hopefully, deep inside, as we all have the passion for Barca, we'll be able to see a tiki-taka masterpiece of Quique Setien, and hopefully this will be the moment where he cements his little kind of, I don't know, flower or whatever. I don't know. I don't have any analogy for it, but you understand. Hopefully he makes his mark and Barca can win comfortably into the Copa del Rey and give us some sort of confidence, because I don't have any in this team right now. I've lost it. I have the fandom, I have the will to keep supporting it, but I want to feel excited about it. I really want to.